Hello, everybody, and welcome to 5 in 5, your weekly diet of bite sized reflections from individuals who are trailblazing diversity and inclusion in many walks of life. My name is Celeste Murgor, and I am your guest host for 5 in 5. Today, I am joined by Ludovic Pezé, who is the director and founder of Motors Formula Team, which is a company working to establish a majority black managed, engineered, and driven racing team in professional motorsports. Welcome, Ludovic.
Thank you for receiving me.
You are most welcome. So, we'll go straight into the questions. So, Ludovic, what do you think is one of the largest barriers to diversity in motorsport?
Oh, I would say I can take it into different angles from the feedback I have. For example, I used to work with Jai that you have precedently in your podcast. And in terms of engineering, it's like teams, if we are talking about Formula One, they are hiring people only from certain university. So it really creates a blockage at some point because they're always hiring people from those university and not from the others when maybe there is more people from minorities or black heritage. So I would say this is more about engineering or potential also mechanic side. And in opposite, I would say the barrier to entry is finance. Because you want to be a racing driver, you need to have finance from the beginning. So that's really a main barrier to entry. I would say if you want to create your own team, you need to have some cash flow and some money. You want to be a racing driver, you need to have some money also. So that's the main problem, I think. But to be sure that you can get this money at some point, you need to be talented. You need to have a certain expertise and knowledge and show to people that you deserve to be helped. And this is where I think there is something to be done, and we start to see some foundation to be created and start to fund some program about diversity, because this is what is missing.
Yeah, I agree. And what actions do we need to take to combat these barriers?
So if I take the case of MFC, when I was building up the team and the company, I was thinking of having people from different backgrounds from the beginning in the company and in the team. And it was at this period of time when people start to say, oh, there is not enough women in companies boards or as director and et cetera, et cetera. And my right arm, Geraldine, she was helping me for years. And I was like, maybe it's the good time and I can promote her as co-director of the company. And when people will have a look about who is composing the company and who is part of the team, they will see there's women at top position. So this is one of the first action. Then in terms of racing drivers was the same. We used to use some special tools to make some scouting and test the different drivers. And we're scouting drivers from the four corners of the globe. So South Africa, Europe, USA. And one day we made a test. We say, okay, we scout this talent. It seems to be good. Let's have a test. And he was a young driver from East Normandy, young driver from Réunion Island with really low amount of experience. He started very late karting, so at 13, and he's only 17 now. And another driver, same age than him, but start karting at 5 or 4 years old. And the guy was like world champion of karting. I put both guys in the same cars with same setup, and there was almost no difference. And even Noah has big margin. And then it was the time about choosing which driver I want to work with. And I say, okay, now it's time to choose. It's not because the other driver has a better privileged background, but when you see the potential of the driver, Noah seems to have a better potential for the future. And even in terms of maturity, he is, because he has two left his parents, he's like more mature. He's talking like an adult, and the other is still with his mom and really close. And okay. And when we decide, we say, okay, we are going to take Noah, and we are working with Noah, and we are going to develop him. And thanks to that, he started Formula 4, his second season Formula 4 this year. He was at the back of the grid last year, and thanks to the work together and his dedication, he made his first podium. So showing that we didn't make a mistake by choosing him. And same with engineering. I was looking for an engineer. I was talking with different people until then they say, hey, this guy is doing this. Okay, let's have a talk. And then I see that the guy is graduated. He has track experience, and we are very aligned in terms of strategy too. And then I say, okay, let's go for it. There's not a lot of, I would say, black engineers overall, and we used to hear more and more. And it's really few people working and being black mechanics or black engineer from my experience when I'm going to the racetrack. And I think this is how it should be done. You should to see first and scout first the talents itself than the face of the people or from where it's coming from.
Next question, what development in motorsport excites you right now? I know that you were recently featured in the Hamilton Commission report.
Yeah. So for me, the most exciting thing in motorsport is depending, I would say, if it's more about the sport itself, is to see that people start to take responsibility and try to change the thing like Lewis Hamilton is doing with Commission. In opposite, I would still have a sharp eye and say there's still a lot of talks and lot of people and companies saying, yeah, we are going to help, we are going to do a proper driver development program for people from minorities and etc. But it's just talks, there's nothing done yet. And we are still waiting for it to have something concrete. And some in opposite, we had talks with IMSA, they say to us, oh, it's really good. We're working on it, and they just released their application for minorities driver in the US to have a chance to be a racing driver in IMSA Championship. So this is one thing I would say more about out of the racetrack. And in terms of competition and vehicles, I would say it's the development. When you see, for example, the most concrete thing for me was Formula E. They started with 2 cars, changing cars in the middle of the race, jumping from one car to another. And now they just use one car, and this car is going 60 kilometers faster than the previous one. And there's incredible race. And you can see it more and more in Formula One with the efficiency of the engine that is crazy, what they did as work. And same with Le Mans, because a lot of things that you find in your, I would say, car that you use every day is coming from 24 hours of Le Mans. And this is showing that, yeah, motorsport is still useful, and that's why I excite in this sport.
Okay. And what is your favorite failure?
That's a really good question, because I would say I'm perfectionist, so I don't like failure. That's my biggest problem. I'm really perfectionist. I don't like failure. But I would say my favorite one is the failure that helped me to go forward. Meaning I can learn something from this failure, I can correct it, and I can move forward and achieve my goals.
I like that. So the final question is going to be a random question.
Okay.
So who are your heroes? So who do you look up to?
That's a good question. I would say I will split in 2 parts. One is like, I would say, call them team principal or engineers. So I was always admiring people like Ron Dennis, what he achieved in motorsport. And it's funny, but for me, it's most of people from McLaren. I don't know why, but you take Ron Dennis, you take Andreas Seidel. He was at Porsche, but at McLaren, what they are accomplishing at the moment is crazy. You have Toto Wolff for sure, because Toto Wolff is really genius for me in a way. And if you're going in the past, you have guys like Carroll Shelby starting from scratch and do a car like Ford GT, winning Le Mans. So there's all these I would say, people in terms of management and directory that are my heroes, I would say. And in terms of racing drivers, okay, there's not a lot. For me, it's easy. There was Ayrton Senna that I loved. I don't remember about him, but I was like maybe 2, 3 years old. I had the chance to see him, even if I don't remember, but I seen him at Monaco GP because I was born in Monaco. Michael Schumacher, I was big fan of Michael, and I remember I have a picture with his Ferrari car. I was like, I don't know, maybe 6 years old, and with my little Ferrari cap, so it was funny. And then Lewis Hamilton. But for me, how I discovered Lewis Hamilton was really a surprise. In fact, I was watching from the Rock at the Grand Prix of Monaco, where there's all the fans, because it was the most affordable way to watch Formula One. And I've seen a black guy, looks like a racing driver, walking with someone around him, and in fact, it was Lewis Hamilton and his dad. And when I saw him driving, I was with my cousin. I told him, this guy is going to go in Formula One and will be world champion in 1 or 2 years. And now I'm laughing because my cousin used to say to me, you should have bet on it. You told me this 1, 2 years before. If you had bet on it, you will get millions. so that's the thing. And for me, it was crazy because I was following him, let's say, like every normal fan of the sport or a driver. And by being acknowledged by his commission and himself, I still don't believe it. I still don't believe because it's really incredible. Like when people start to talk to me and say, you could be featured in it. Evan Jay told me this. I say, yeah, okay. Maybe they will just put my name and just MFT, and that's all. And when they sent it to me and it was whole page in the report, I was like, whoa. I woke up like in a dream, and I see the impact of it, positively, negatively. I would say 90% is positive. People say, oh, you work so hard that now we start to pay off, and they start to give more attention because we are acknowledged by Hamilton. But in opposite, we have negative comments. People say, yeah, why you are like this about diversity? We don't care about black people, Hamilton, etc., criticizing Hamilton, and even attacking Hamilton through us. Let's say on LinkedIn, we had a post, we were happy, everybody is happy, congratulating, and some of them are like, yeah, but we don't care about Hamilton, and it's nothing related. They didn't even read the report, they didn't read the post or the article, they were just coming and criticized because they seen just Hamilton's name. And this is something not normal and that we don't accept, because we accept constructive critics, but not like free attacks. This we don't accept. And a lot of people start to say motorsport should not be like football when you have hooligans or whatever. Motorsport, normally you should have people with a bit more culture and understanding of the sport. So you can be for a driver on another, but you have constructive criticize and stuff like this, and not just insulting or booing someone. So that's the thing. But at the end of the day, yeah, I would say was really influenced by those three champions like Ayrton Senna, Schumacher, and Lewis Hamilton.
I think those are amazing role models to have and just amazing people to look up to. So I think that's all we've got time for today. I want to thank Ludovic for being our guest on 5 in 5. And if you enjoyed this episode, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And we look forward to seeing you on the next episode of 5 in 5. Take care.